Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to adjust the controls in your motorcycle. Setting up the controls on your bike is an important step to improve both the comfort and the control while you're on the bike. And what we're talking about is both hand controls and foot controls. For hand controls, there's two things we're looking at. We're looking at the angle of the levers as well as the reach to the levers. And then for the foot controls, we're looking at the angle of both the rear brake and the shift lever. Alright, the first thing we're going to adjust is the angle of our levers. And what we're looking for here is when you're sitting in your normal riding position, you want to look at the angle of your arm and make sure that your hand and your fingers are in a straight line when they reach out to the levers. You don't want to be reaching up at an excessive angle or reaching down at an excessive angle. You just want your fingers to fall naturally on the levers and everything here to be in line. In order to make this adjustment, all you need is a 5mm Allen key, and you're going to loosen these two bolts. And once they're loose, you'll find that you can actually just move this up and down. The only thing you have to watch out for is to make sure that the cables don't get excessively kinked. So there's a limited range of movement that you have, but you should be able to find something that works for you. Once you do, just tighten these back down. And you're all set. And the process is the same for the brake lever. I noticed the front brake actually has more of a limited range of movement than the clutch, but you should be able to get them both dialed in. Alright, the next adjustment that we're going to look at is the reach to the levers. And on the 2017 and 2018 Ninja 1000 Z1000SX, we actually have adjustable levers from the factory for both the front brake and the clutch. And the adjustment is done right here with this knob. On the clutch side, you have a range of adjustment from 1 to 5. And on the brake side, you have a range of adjustment from 1 to 6. The higher the number, the closer the lever is to the bar. So right now it's on 5. In order to adjust this, you just push the lever away and then rotate the knob. So if I go from 5 to 1, now the lever sits way out here. And then each adjustment, as we go up in number, so we're on 2, 3, 4, and back to 5, brings the lever closer. And what you're looking for with this adjustment is that you can comfortably reach the levers and that they're far enough away that when you pull it in enough to sufficiently engage the clutch, the lever is not actually hitting the bar. So if you're hitting the bar and the clutch isn't fully engaged, then you'll want to use this to back the lever away a little bit, or you may need a cable adjustment. Adjustment for the front brake works the same way. We use this knob right here. This goes from 1 to 6. 6 being the closest to the grip and 1 being the furthest from the grip. And the same principle applies, that you want to be able to comfortably reach the lever, but when you engage the front brake, you can do so without actually hitting your fingers or the bar. So you want to have enough room here that you can fully use the front brake, but still have it close enough that your fingers fall comfortably over the lever here. Alright, so now we're looking at the shifter, and the adjustment that we're going to make affects the height of the shifter. And we want to set it so that it's easy to get our shoe underneath and our shoe above for both upshifting and downshifting. We're going to make the adjustment using the shift linkage, and in order to do that we have to loosen the two 10mm nuts. The nut on the left side towards the front of the bike has a standard thread, and the nut on the back has a reverse thread. So when you're loosening these, they both loosen in the same direction. I know that's kind of confusing. So in order to loosen these, we're going to rotate them this direction. So I lift up on the wrench and this loosens. Put the wrench on the one in the back, do the same thing. And once you get those loosened, you can just rotate this bar with your hand and you'll see the shift lever actually move up and down. So you get a pretty wide range of adjustment on this. And I like mine towards the high side so that it's easy for me to get my boot underneath. And then once you have it in the position that you want it, all you have to do is tighten the two 10mm nuts, and this time we're going to be tightening them by turning them in the downward direction. And what you're looking for is that there's enough room for you to get your toe underneath the shifter and get above the shifter. If you need more range of adjustment than what you can achieve just by rotating the shift linkage, you can actually use this right here. And the way you do that is you would loosen this 10mm bolt, and then there's a splined shaft that this bracket mounts on. You pull the bracket off and then you rotate it, and that'll affect where the shifter sits, and then you slide it back onto the shaft and then tighten that back down. Alright, for the rear brake, I don't think this is as critical an adjustment as the shift lever, because unlike the shift lever, your foot only has to go on top of the brake, so you don't need to have it set so that you can get your foot both underneath and over the top. But in order to adjust this, you would just loosen this 12mm nut right here, and then rotate the shaft that goes into the master cylinder, and that will raise and lower the rear brake. And then once you get it to the height that you want, you just tighten this 12mm nut back down. Alright, so that's it. That's how you adjust the controls on the bike. It's easy to do, and it should enhance both the comfort and the performance of your riding. Thanks for watching.